It's very good. Let's just start again.
At least it wasn't me.
Hey guys, so we've decided we're going to have a crack at making some videos for our own reason, just to keep friends and family in the loop as well. Just showing where we're up to on this little adventure of ours, which is pretty funny because we both fucking hate being in video. But we'll give it a go.
For very good reason.
We felt it was brief to do it, so it was necessary. Felt it was necessary to do a brief summary of Evenstar's trip since that order back in 2018.
Yeah, right. So April 2019, we picked the boat up and headed off up the Turkish coast, and we managed to sail past Anzac Cove on Anzac Day 2019, which is
a bit of a map here,
a bit special.
Showing the route up the coast.
And we got to Yellow after pounding ourselves across the Sea of Marmaris. And we were there for 3 weeks due to a couple of problems, and then we made our way back down the coast and have a bit more look at Turkey.
Fairly epic sail to take on for your first trip out of the dock, though.
Yeah, and Bruce realising that owning a boat's a lot different to sailing it.
And up the Dardanelles, past Gallipoli on Anzac morning, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and going through the Dardanelles and realising there are places in the road which are just as busy as Parramatta Road, and it's on water. Not a good place to be.
I think I chatted to them on the phone after that one, and everyone seemed a bit traumatised, but we made it. Alright, so leg number 2. Any eagle-eyed fans are going to notice that I fucked up the map here and put it from Istanbul, but it was Yalova. And where do you go from there?
Well, then we headed back down the coast. We had to go to Marmaris actually to have the rig checked. We had a new rig put on the boat before we bought it, and we had to either go to Marmaris to have the rig rechecked for possible stretching, or pay them €1,100 to come and check it in Didim. So we just decided to sail there and have a look.
You got fun.
Yes, learning about boats and learning all the systems is the most stressful part of it. So, very big thanks to Mark and June, who put up with all this shit while I didn't know my boat, and were learning it with me.
And more shit to come.
Oh, and lots more shit to come.
Okay, from Marmaris.
Right, so then so then we knew we'd actually organised to meet some young blood, Rob and Georgie and Landon and Janae, in Athens on a date. So we had to start pedalling and get across to Greece because we mucked around getting things repaired and whatever.
Bit of a dig there.
Off we headed, and we checked into Pythagoras and Samos, and then across to Paros and had a nice night. And then we motored to Athens and had some glorious sunset stuff. Picked up Rob and Georgie, and Landon and Janae, and then we had a lovely 7 days with them, and we went through the Corinth Canal, which everybody has etched into their memory as a reason to never get on a boat.
Very cool, but I remember vividly when we were almost at the end of the canal, there was a big super massive cruiser in front of us, and we saw it from a distance all of a sudden just start pounding into waves. And no one said a word. Everyone just started putting everything into cupboards.
We have no video of that because there was no way you could actually take a video of it.
It was shit. It was only like
4 hours or 5 hours of
absolute
hell.
It was a bit longer than that. I reckon it was 6 to 8, but it was shit. Mum genuinely thought the boat was going to fall apart.
Well, then we left and we went up the King, and we had a beautiful, beautiful stop at a tiny little island off the coast of Greece, near Patras. And the island was, we always get the name wrong, Trizonia. And we stopped there for Mum's birthday on the 5th of June. And then we headed up to Corfu and lost the young ones, unfortunately. But the boat was chock-a-block full with 8 people living on board, but it's fun.
It was a great place to stop off though, Corfu, I thought.
So, at this point, the young ones had to leave us and go back to their work commitments. And we got joined by Paul and Judith. And Paul I'd done a lot of sailing with fast nets and Hobarts and whatever. and Kate Taylor, which was very welcome.
So where did you left Corfu, went south down to?
Yep. So Kate and I sailed through the day and overnight, got to Ricella Ionica in Italy, and then finally went through the Straits of Messina and got to Capitolando on the north coast of Sicily. And that was the end of our travels on Evenstar for 2019. We
Let's just kick the map off here, and we'll see Evenstar go down to Tunisia.
Hammamet in Tunisia. Yep.
Yeah, some visa and tax issues to be avoided.
Yep.
Was the reason for that route, and then we've gone back to Sicily. We love Sicily so much. No, we're back to Tunisia. After Malta, seeing the region. Back to Sicily. Back to Tunisia. And finally,
we escaped
off to Sardinia.
It took us a long time to escape the Italians.
Yeah, this looks chaotic, but it spans two and a half years.
I don't think Mark and June or I ever want to see Tunisia again.
Well done, Mark and June. The journey might have ended here without them.
Oh, yes. Oh, but look, no, so many times. In everything. But Mark helping me learn about boat ownership and maintenance and stuff, and just honestly having someone to share shit with makes it so much easier to bear. Finally started to enjoy the boat in Sardinia and Corsica, and realising how lovely it is to be on a boat at anchor in nice cruising grounds and be able to swim, and the south of France was again lovely. Then we sailed from Saint-Tropez down to Menorca in the Balearic Islands, and then on to Mallorca, and then all 2 brief stops there, and then Mark and June needed to get home, and so we headed down to the south coast and across the south coast of Spain, and finally arrived in Gibraltar on early July, I think. And that was it. I'd done the first leg of the trip. The Evenstar had actually made the Straits of Gibraltar, and she was out of the Med.
Right, so 3 months in the pub in Gibraltar.
Yeah, guilty. And to be honest, Gibraltar's quite a fascinating place. So if any of you get the chance to go there, don't miss it. There's a lot to see there, and it's very, very fascinating.
In his defence, there wasn't much point progressing at that point because you do need to wait for the right time to cross the Atlantic.
Yep, and I needed to get a rig survey done, and I had to wait for Corey to arrive to do the Atlantic crossing, and thank heavens I did. He was vital. Got to meet some lovely people in Gibraltar, in particular made hopefully lifelong friends out of Amy, Rory and their daughter Iris, who then accompanied us on the trip down to Lanzarote. The people at the lounge bar put on a fabulous farewell for us, very Australian themed, and they were just absolutely lovely to me. The trip down was reasonably uneventful. It was a little bit lumpy, and Iris and Amy both were a bit queasy. By the way, Iris is only 2 years old, so the fact that they were a bit queasy for the first 36 hours put a bit of down. We had 4 metre seas, confused seas, plenty of wind. We made good progress. We did the trip down in just on 4.5 days, and arrived in Lanzarote early in the morning to a marina, and then had a fascinating look around Lanzarote.